everyone. Welcome to my new kind of video. So I've finally decided, since I'm not going to be able to do the book reviews videos now, just go ahead and do any video that has to do with language until I become able to do that. I'm starting this video series about, I don't know, English language translation, Arabic, Japanese, whatever it is that you want to call it. I have no idea what I'm going to call it yet. But I've decided to start these kind of videos for a few reasons. Number one is I've been asked why I do my videos in English and why not do videos in English about actual English, not just talking about other things in English. I've also been quite away from teaching for a while. My career is actually teaching and translation, and I've been away from teaching for a while, and I kind of miss talking about translation. Not just doing translation, but actually talking about it. So I thought this would be a kind of fun video to do until I someday get around to doing the book reviews and the book club videos that I really want to do. So since today is the very first video that I had to do with that I'm doing that has to do with this kind of topic, I want to address an age-old question of language students or translation students is, how do I become a translator? And when it comes to this question, I have to say, this is a disclaimer out there, I'm not talking about how to get work, how to get translation tasks, because up till this day, I am no expert on that matter, and I can't really tell you exactly what you need to do, because that depends on your proficiency level, it depends on your where you live, it depends on whether you want to work online or at a firm or an office. So there are many variables that go into this. So that's why I'm not discussing translation as a business and how to get work. I'm discussing what you as a translator can do to become better at your job. Now, in order to be equipped with the tools that you need to become a translator, you have two kinds of equipment. Some things that you need in your head and some things that you need in your hands. Now, when it has to do with what you have in your hands, it depends on your financial situation, what kind of investment you're willing to make, and a few variables. And that mainly includes having a really good laptop, a very fast, dependable laptop, very good software, meaning that you have an up-to-date Microsoft Office or whatever kind of software for writing and stuff that you need. CAT tools are also preferable for a lot of people. CAT tools stands for Computer Assisted Translation Tools. I personally don't really prefer them, but they are very useful to translators who work really big projects in like a crammed amount of time, or to projects that a lot of translators work on. So it helps to have that kind of electronic memory where you have a list of the phrases and words and terminologies that everyone can refer to and use in order to produce a work that's actually uniform. But personally, when I'm working, I don't really prefer working with CAT tools, because I think even if the same exact word is repeated 100 times, it can be translated into 100 different translations, depending on what kind of sentence, what kind of context, what place in the paragraph it's in, what kind of emphasis the paragraph the word is in is focusing on, many variables that go into that. So I personally don't prefer using CAT tools. You don't have, and if you do, or if you need them, because a lot of companies and clients actually require CAT tools and experience with them, I think that now there are many options that are for free online. You don't have to purchase like Trados and those kind of can be quite pricey software. You can use online for free, but of course the privacy and the security will be much less than there are for the actual paid software. So make your choice, see what you can afford, what you're willing to work with. So yes, a good dependable laptop, good softwares to work with, definitely a stable, fast internet connection. You do not want to be working on your data package. You need a good internet connection that is stable at home, because if the internet fails you in the middle of a project and you have a deadline, things are going to get quite stressful. So I think that's it when it has to do with general translation. If you are aiming to work with technical translation, say legal, medical, something to do with engineering, then definitely investing in specialized dictionaries would help. Now I'm going to talk about specialized translation in a different video, but in general, if you are aiming towards a certain field that you want to translate on, then investing in specialized dictionaries will definitely be a lot of help, because the use of language is completely different, say, in medicine than it is in day-to-day English. Some words will mean a completely different thing, and it would be very easy to a doctor to make the differentiation, but not necessarily to you. So those are the purchases that I think you need to make in order to make your work really easy. Now, what you have to have in your head is much, much harder than what you need to have in your hand, because the number one key into becoming a good translator, is having a very good command on both the languages you need to translate to and from. And this is very important, because a big mistake that a lot of translators in Egypt make is that they spend quite a lot of time on perfecting English and becoming very proficient at it, and they neglect the fact of paying attention to Arabic itself. So sadly or unfortunately, the end result becomes that someone is really good at English but has no adequate equipment in Arabic to actually form good sentences, strong sentences that deliver the meaning in the best way possible. You find it a lot in texts translated into Arabic, that the person is basically writing English but in Arabic words. The order of sentences, the connectors between sentences, inter-sentence and intra-sentence connectors that are used are very English-like, but they are written in Arabic. So remember that in order to become a good translator, you don't only need a good command over English, you need a good command over Arabic. Or in other words, not only a good command on the foreign language, but on your native language as well, whether it's Arabic, English, Japanese, Spanish, French, whatever it is. So a very good command on the language that you're speaking, the languages that you're translating to and from, and a very good command on, how do I say it, on moving between both languages. What are the linguistic characteristics of this language and of, say, the source language and target language? How do I move this sentence into that sentence? What kind of order? Like, for example, the order of the sentence in Japanese is pretty much the opposite of the order in sentence in Arabic, and if you are not aware of that, you can become very flustered when you're translating. So moving between both languages and having the tools to move between both languages is very important as well. The third point that you need to be very careful about, or pay quite a lot of attention to, is learning the language itself alone is not enough into making you a good translator. If you're learning just English and you have no, even if slight, awareness of the cultural, political connotations that go within using certain words or phrases, that can be quite problematic. Say, for example, this is a bad example, I know, but say a person who doesn't know in America you have to call a black person African American and not a certain other word that I'm not going to use. You could be in a lot of trouble if you don't know that. So being aware of some cultural and political connotations is very, very, very important when you're translating as well. So I think this is going to be about enough for the very first video I'm making about language or translation or whatever it is. If you find this video helpful in any way, please let me know, because feedback on these videos is going to be incredibly important, because I'm making this video